For All Nerd Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/ForAllNerds.
You are now listening to Castle Black, the blackest House of Dragon podcast in all the realms.
Castle Black. So this is the seat of the Night's Watch.
And welcome, internets, to another episode of Castle Black, the blackest Game of Thrones podcast in all of the realms, powered by ForAllNerds, where we discuss everything in the world of Game of Thrones from the perspective of people of color. And it is one of your hosts, Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as the Lord of Lightsabers, Blotto Hightower, Sir Gawain's World, Party Time, Excellent. It was all a dream fire. Kodak Blackwoods, and the Ting of the North. And as usual, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Benhameen.
Oh, all right. But you made me force my quick writing, so actually, Porshea, you go ahead real quick.
Oh,
Okay. All right. I don't know if we are ready for what's going to come over there. Hi everyone, it's Porshea, aka the Maester of Green Dreams, aka the Three-Eyed Ravenclaw, aka Lady Mary Jane of Highgarden, aka Never Back Down Baela.
Yes, that's my girl. That's my girl this episode. All right, Mr. of the Means, you ready?
Figure that phrasing. Yeah, I think I'm ready. All right. I really don't like it, but anyway. Once again, it's your boy DJ Benhameen, returning. Benha of the Means, Sir Christian Cold as Ice, Dwayne, Wayne, Grand Maester of Munch, a man has no shame, bent off that Alicent, Biggie Smallfolk, the off-white worm, catch these hands of the king, and who wants that sea smoke?
The off-white worm. That's a good one. I know that's not the new one, but that's a good one.
Yes, thank you very much.
I appreciate
I wanted to do
Master...
Wayne before you came with Wayne's World, but that's pretty amazing, so I had to give it to you. Yeah.
Appreciate you. And appreciate everybody who is back again. We're here, season 2, House of Dragons, reviewing, recapping, clowning, as usual, on episode 3 this time. Listen, we had a lot of arguments last week, and it's probably going to still be arguments this week. But I also think some things Ben might be coming around on when it comes to how we feel about the Greens. He might be coming around.
Slightly, but... I do have questions for y'all. Got a lot of questions. And the audience had a lot of questions. And also, shout out to our YouTube followers, because last week we put out the call and y'all came through. We are well over 5K followers. Let's keep it going. Get it to 10K real quick. You know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend all about us. You know we are the hottest, the blackest House of Dragons podcast in all of the realms.
That's right.
Come through. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. And as well, first, thank y'all. I'm so glad we made it. And thank you to everybody who has been listening, watching, sharing, telling a friend to tell a friend. This matters. And this is incredible. And I love the excitement and the joy and the happiness and all that.
And the commenters.
And the commentary.
Them.
Thank y'all. And thank y'all again. Thank you for keeping it cute. Whether you would disagree, agree, or correcting us, because there were some corrections. Appreciate that. We appreciate you. Keep it coming. Thank you. Now, getting into episode 3 of House of 2, season 2, House of Dragons.
2 House, 2 Dragon, basically.
This episode, the way it opens, the way this shit opens on Crips versus the Bloods, we got to talk about this.
And no Kendrick to pull them together.
This is yet another way that this show is so phenomenal about how they're framing things, because they're showing you the trickle down effects of what's going on between the Greens and the Blacks and how it affects the Biggie Smallfolk.
Yes. I want to give a big shout out real quick to Jeeta Patel, who is the director of this episode. She's directed 3 episodes so far, I think, of House of Dragons in total. And for me, this was just one of the best directed episodes of Game of Thrones in general. Like, I just thought it was phenomenally well done. So many ill shots when they're out on the I don't know what you call it, but outside of the castle and the dragons flying around.
Oh,
The
yeah.
opening of this episode and the cut from "You wouldn't dare" to from a couple of boys in the field arguing to hundreds, if not thousands, of people dead, and that same boy with a sword through his neck and his little clasp floating in the water next to him.
Mm-hmm.
That was, an incredible cut and just an incredible way of showing, like you said, the effect where this small explanation that starts because my man's like, nah, we down with Aegon over here, son. You know what I mean? And then instantly...
It was a turf war. It was literally the sets were coming against each other. I just could not believe what I was watching.
Over a few feet of land. You know what I mean? And then all these niggas dead. And then up in the castle, niggas is like, let me have some wine.
It wasn't that simple, Ben. What you about to say, Portia?
I'm just saying, I hear the direction, but also whoever the editor is did a really great job in fading in that. So that's one thing. Whenever I'm as a Real Housewives fan, whenever they cut from someone saying something crazy to girl, you said this the other day, right. I love that, and I feel like they did that really. This episode was a Real Housewives kind of cut of scene to scene, you just said this, but here we go.
The producers will embarrass you every time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But also about the Blackwoods and the Brackens.
Yes.
I love that this is a callback, and I love that it's called back twice in this episode to I believe the first or second episode of last season when and Rhaenyra brought it up whenever she's talking to Alicent, whenever they were at the tourney and they saw the people going at it. The Brackens and the Blackwoods, if you remember, they was talking crazy to each other.
Yep.
In the thing. And one of them was asking to wear Rhaenyra's colors, and she was like, "Boy," she's like, "I don't know, y'all figure that out." And they just kept going back and forth with each other. And it was young. They were young boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're the same guys. I don't know if they're supposed to be the same people a little bit older because they're not even full grown.
That'd be crazy if that was the same boys.
But it would be crazy if it was. But it is the same houses that have been having this just tit for tat. One of the council members says they've been going at it for as long as it's been on site basically for decades for these families, if not longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really take Aegon's name being brought up. It really was just I've been ready to come at it's on site since I knew you were alive. I've been ready.
And Ben might be saying what I'm about to say. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, and that leads into what my girl, who is really right, the other Ray, had to say about everything. People forget why these things started. And which leads into my main question for the two of y'all and for the audience. When did this war start?
Yes, Ben, you were right. Because that is something you posed before.
A long time ago.
You posed that on previous episodes, what started the war, right? And you did even say, and it was very good that Rhaenys brought it up again, it's questionable, right? Because remember, Rhaenyra tried to be when they usurped my throne, and Rhaenys was actually.
Actually.
Is that when it started? Did it start when Luke got 8? Or let's take it all the way back in the day when Luke took Aemon's eye?
Oof. When yo whack-ass mothering.
That wasn't her. First of all, whoa. Whoa. You always take it too far. It'd be I'll be with you, and then you take it too far. That got nothing to do with her whack-ass mother. First of all, she's the only one who's mothering anybody. We had a whole conversation about how Alicent, and maybe not through her own fault, because she was raised poorly.
She straight up sent that black girl off
that's not her daughter, that's her niece.
That's her niece.
Wow.
She's just...
It ain't like she got a father or a mother. Somebody got to do it. And
somebody can be a bad auntie all day. That's
not what that's about. Auntie, right? That's Rhaenyra. But we're not about to do this.
Wait a minute.
We're about to do this.
She sent her son to get 8.
Oh my God, Ben, we're not doing this again. That's not what happened.
We can't go.
We can't backslide again.
We can't backslide into these conversations
because it's the truth.
No,
you're trying to avoid it.
The truth is that just like with the Brackens and the Blackwoods, what's Bracken? Just like with them.
That was gonna be mine.
You cannot necessarily tell, especially if it's centuries of infighting, right? Ancestral level type fighting, tribes over the ages fighting. After a while, it's like, well, what started this in the first place? And lots of times it's on something trivial, or it's on a slight, or it could be, oh, somebody disrespect me in a maybe major, sometimes minor way, but then it just snowballs. And this is what we see with the Blackwoods and the Brackens. And it is repeating now with the Targaryen family, right? Like with the infighting. It's like, exactly how did all this happen? And also, this could have been prevented.
Well, I mean, let me brush my shoulders off real quick. You can continue after that.
I've said in the past multiple times that this would have not happened had Viserys simply kept it in his pants. So, if we really want to talk about the origin of the problem, because it was not, honestly, it was the finagling of Otto Hightower of trying to get his house represented in the throne that got us here. If Rhaenyra were born a boy, then he would have simply betrothed Alicent to Rhaenyra, and then he would have had his house represented in the freaking throne. So he wouldn't have been pushing so hard to try to get a male heir in there. He would have been like, I'm going to just work with what we got. I got a daughter. He got a son. Boom. Okay. And we would have never had this happen in the beginning.
And then he would have died, and Daemon would have been like, that throne is mine, as we see in this episode. No matter what, niggas is coming for it. It don't matter, because this is the Game of Thrones. Shit's gonna go down. What matters is, do you prepare who you put on for what's going to happen to them eventually, no matter boy, man, child, woman, thing, tomatoes, greens. It don't matter, because it don't matter. Like, Daemon, straight up in this episode, really made that point clear. Nigga was like, call me king, nigga, wherever I go. Like,
he made it clear that he's like kind of a mindless pit bull.
I keep saying that. It's like, and there will always be mindless pit bulls in this world, because that's how this world works. Like, people keep trying to avoid how this world works. And that's what I've said from watching Game of Thrones. That ain't how it works. You're watching the wrong show. You know what I mean? It works on ruthlessness.
But you also have to speak, and you could say that it's ruthless. You can't speak from the perspective of someone who's watching the show. Yes, you know everything. You're the God on high, right? Yeah. We're talking about as a character within the world, and you only know what you see and what you've told, right? And I could see, to that point, yes, like people like Rhaenyra and all that have to understand the treachery around. They've seen it firsthand, and that you have to be more mindful, which leads us to actually talk about Rhaenyra in this episode. And the fact that she is in trouble. I see it in her face.
It ain't her in trouble. It's the world that's in trouble now.
Let me explain what I mean by that. Okay. I feel like she's in an analysis paralysis situation where, and by that, I mean, I don't know if you ever heard that phrase, was where like you're trying to make decisions, whether for the good or the better or whatever. And it's just like you have all of this, you have an avalanche of information and an avalanche of decisions and consequences to make, and you end up, you're so into the analysis part of it that you don't execute, you don't move, right? You're just constantly thinking about, I will take that under advisement, I will consider your thoughts, but you're not making moves. And the more that happens, the more the people around you who are indeed playing the game or who have their own agendas or anything around that, the more they're going to start making moves and also potentially undermine you. And I'm seeing that, you've been seeing that with her council, where they're like, first of all, it's several things happening. It's that happening about undermining. It's patriarchy happening again, where the men are just like, oh, well, we got this and you need to do that. Like basically telling her what she need to do. And then to the point, which was wild disrespectful about, well, why don't you go hide in Pentos too? And we got this over here. You gonna wage a war in my name without me?
You wanna use my dragons? You want to use the dragons.
Without me?
Without me. You want my dragons, but not me.
I mean, ain't shit. The issue is, how do you react to it? Like, we all know men in this world ain't going to be shit. But how do you react to it? And like I said, I don't think she's really in trouble right now. Like I said, I feel like the world is in much more trouble than she is.
Yeah,
especially
everybody's
by the end
in trouble, but she's in trouble just in terms of, because she's in a place now where like it's coming to terms. It's coming like you have Rhaenys counseling her, and thank God for Rhaenys because Rhaenyra would not know what to do. She's having trouble making decisions. She can't. She feel like she can't trust nobody. I mean, you have it to the point where you have Mysaria, where just off GP, you're like, I don't know if I could trust this woman. And Mysaria is all like, I'm on my fuck shit, but I'm on your side. And it's like, are you really? And it's a lot going on at once. And when that's all, especially she's dealing with so much emotion and so much pain and so much turmoil. And then it's like, now you got to act as queen and make it happen. She's in fucking trouble. I
love how every episode, speaking of Mysaria, they've been introducing contestant number 1, contestant number 2. Who will ride the dragon? Dun, dun, dun.
Right, with sea smoke. Yeah.
Yeah. She over here like, oh, is he lonely? Like,
but Rhaenyra, she takes Rhaenys' advice when Rhaenys is like, yo, you probably need to read Alicent's letters because that might be a lifeline there about what to do and who to talk to. We see how that turned out. We'll get to that later, but
it felt very white feminism, to be honest.
Oh, wait, what was that?
It felt white feminist. It felt like, oh, like we can trust the other powerful white lady. She's gonna be looking out for us the same way we're looking out for each other. Like we're all wanting the same thing. Like you're just assuming
Rhaenys
she's in a similar position.
Yeah, Rhaenys said she sensed that. Yeah. She sensed that Alicent wanted peace, and that's what she was like. Well, maybe we need to talk to her.
And this is the same. Like this is like months ago. This is like when your dragon burst out of the keep and Alicent and them was standing on the stage. That was the last time you saw her. But you could sense that she wanted.
Alicent wants it.
I mean, I get that. I mean, white women gonna sit together. You know what I mean? Like that's common sense. But I also think, Rhaenys is just trying to keep the peace more than anything. Rhaenys knows what is going to go down. And sadly, I really feel like the foreshadowing was ugly this episode that Rhaenys is about to turn just as angry as Ray in a second. Because
of Corlys?
Yeah, that nigga did.
Yeah, I mean, I think she might turn. But
it's soon to be dead.
One thing, and I understand, absent of this happening, I understand that if this happened, there would be no season 2. But I still don't. It's like I understand, but I don't. Like when Rhaenys had the fucking chance to wipe out the entirety of the Greens with her dragon right then and there in season 1, she could have did it. And her whole thing was, this is not my war. Well, bitch, you're standing next to Rhaenyra right now.
Your grandchildren, regardless, you knew they were dragon riders. You knew if a battle was ever going to come, whose grandchildren was going to be in there? That's your legacy. That's what y'all over here worried about, is your heirs and who's going to capture your legacy. Yeah.
I want to be clear. I'm not blaming Rhaenys. I'm just like, you had a chance, and this happens all the time. Where it's just like it happened in fucking Acolyte. You had a chance to end this bullshit now, and you did not take that.
In both of those cases, though, the outcome would be worse. And I mean, not real quick on Acolyte, you cut off niggas' heads, you become a dark Jedi. And Soul's too good to be that. She burns up them niggas right there. You burn up mad other people. The dragon pit is below you right there. Aren't there other dragons? Aren't there dragons there? Like, it's chaos, and hell to pay after that. Like, you probably end up destroying the city.
It's going to be hell to pay no matter what, right?
Yeah, but
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Your people are right there too. Everyone goes up,
I didn't know everybody going to go up. I don't think
everybody going up. When that dragon starts throwing ham, that building's falling apart on top of them.
Why would the dragon have to go ham just to blow a little puff smoke at the Greens?
see this? Y'all keep under these niggas.
Yeah, the building. I was shaking my head. So I'm like, everybody's going. It's going to be like the Sept whenever.
Yes.
Oh, the whole thing going up. Okay.
Yeah. It's all going to go up. Okay. And it's going to crumble down. But I don't know that all the because if Rhaenys was playing that game, she could have let loose all the dragons. Like she could have just taken time, take them all.
That's even worse.
I mean, but again, if I'm gonna cause chaos, I'm gonna do the most. So you let all the dragons out, they're all saved, and you just set fire on the family, and they're
the world.
Just the people who just happen to be there.
Just the thousands of
people who are already there. Will the small folk trust you? Will you be seen in the same light as Daemon and worse? Yes,
no.
Everything will be over because
No,
people are
it
dead.
won't. It will not. And all them other dragons flying
And then
out of
all
there
the
are
dragons will be
burning the
free.
city.
They were
End of
down there like
story.
it was Zion.
They're
out there.
raging.
All the dragons will be.
Yeah,
Them
now-
niggas is not just walking out like, oh, this is great. No, them niggas is coming out. What the fuck, nigga? It's time
We
to
blowing
die.
stuff up. Let's do it.
I guess there's bad ideas and there's worse ideas and whatever.
That was the worst idea.
But you would have
Rhaenys is so-
Aegon's
It
ass up
sounds
there.
like a good time to me. I would love to see dragons flying around burning things and just having a jolly good time, to be honest.
I mean, I'm Team Oblivion, but that's eesh.
It's a lot.
I'm
fine.
always Team Oblivion for the kings and queens, not the small folk. You
That's
know
why I'm
what
like, and Rhaenys, she is a balance, even in her anger and her understanding, because she was fucking angry when that happened. She was still like, to your point, she was just like, okay, I'm not going to do this right here and there. But also her greater point was, this ain't my war. I'm not about it. But you got dragged in now. Back to Rhaenyra. Ben, I will say this, another thing about something you were right about. She does not understand the impact of her words.
And I mean, okay,
Calm yourself. So let me go. Keep going.
I just want some tears real quick because that is
keep crying. Keep crying.
Because that really, affects everything that has happened before. You know what I mean? The pit bull situation.
This is what I mean by this. And again, I'm still not blaming Rhaenyra for everything. I'm saying that she has to start really learning fast about when the king speaks, all hears. And in this case, when the queen speaks, all hears. But also the fact that everyone interprets things a little bit different.
That part.
When she told Baela, and I know you try to say she sent Baela off to just do this stuff, or she sent all her nieces off to do the dirty work, but she still don't want them to die. She still don't want nothing to happen to them. Okay,
no.
She's sending Rhaena off to freaking go
to be safe,
sit down.
Yeah, to go sit down.
Like, she's not.
So I just wanted to make that clear.
I didn't say that. I said she's not being a mother to these children.
That is actually
keeping them safe.
Okay, that's besides the point where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So she sends Baela to do some espionage, to do some spying on what's going on. And Baela's out there in the streets. She's flying around and she sees Crisco and them, or she sees what appears to be little people down there, okay? No one told Baela to go so low as to do a fucking flyby, drive-by on them. She just said, I need you to keep an eye out, right? And then when everything is said and done, when Baela comes back and reports, I seen Crisco and them down there, she's like, how? Because that's not what she told her. What Rhaenyra said to her was, go watch and see what's going down. But Baela took it a step further. Similarly to how she told Daemon, go, again, it wasn't even a telling Daemon thing. She said, I want Aemon. She was specific, but she just said, I want Aemon. And Daemon went and did what the fuck he wanted to do in his own way. And this keeps repeatedly happening. Every time she says something, people take it.
She sent her son.
Ben, you're wrong.
That's
people take it a step further.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is Baela not Daemon's daughter? Do they
Baela
not
is Daemon's
move with the same energy? Or do they not have agency over their own actions? Do they not love to be, I'm a dragon rider, so I'm going to ride? Is that not a trait between father and daughter that we see here? They have their own agency. Their agency is, if I can be the Black Dread, I'm going to play that game. And what did they just do?
The way Baela came down on
she was enjoying
she
the crap out of
had
that.
the Draco. She had the Draco ready to spread. And I promise you, if they did not make it to the tree line,
in their armor, they were gonna.
If they did not make it to the tree line, they was going up. It was going to be over right then and there, and Baela was going to be like, "I got him."
I'm surprised she didn't go on and blow them trees. Like,
I am too.
Just do it.
Yeah,
she probably protect nature too, and maybe she didn't want all that to happen. But like, she was absolutely going to air that bitch out, and the only reason she didn't because they got to safety. And I'm just like. Just back to the whole thing about Rhaenyra not realizing, like, you may say one thing, but people are going to take it upon themselves, especially if they have a certain energy about them. To your point, Porshea, that is Daemon's daughter. And when Baela told her what she did, Rhaenyra looked at her like, bitch, that's not what they said. Like,
but did she really,
did a little bit more.
She didn't really check her. And now she
didn't check her because because she came back alive. Because it's like, what do you check at that point, right? You came back alive. You gave us some valuable information. You good. I'm not gonna mince. I'm not gonna nitpick over that. Like, all right, fuck it. You're here. I know what's up. Now. Let's move on, right?
The problem there is, though, because if them niggas had more of a second to prepare and had some archers with them, Baela could have got done up.
Yeah, her dragons not that very not
that big, and she came way too close.
She
and
came
one
way
shot
too
is
close.
all it takes.
That's my
You know
thing.
what I
Is
mean?
like, if you're gonna get that close, you may as well go on and just flame it. Like,
Yeah.
you may as well, just on the off chance something's gonna come at you, just go.
You don't know what they had in them trees.
No.
That might have been running back to camp, and that might have been whap, whap, whap right there.
And it's concerning because, again, I don't know what level, if any, of like strategy and military these kids have been taught. Like,
Not enough.
yes, they've been taught to do a little. They practice in their little archery and a little bit of swordsmanship, but I don't know, like, from a strategic perspective, do y'all understand what could happen to you if you're not careful?
Beyond that, do you understand what happens in war? Like, as Daemon is seeing this episode, like, you got to learn to live with regrets. And she might be all happy-go-lucky to cook these niggas in their armor right there until they start screaming and yelling and all that type of shit, and she has to see that. Now, is she that insane where that's like, yes, I did it? I don't know.
It was feeling like, what is that? What did Rhaenys or someone else call that? Not bloodlust. They said, it felt like
when
it was
reason leaves.
It was a particular, and you wrote it in your notes, Porshea.
Yeah, desire to kill and burn takes hold.
Dragon
Reason
Rage?
is forgotten. Woo! Bars.
What?
The desire to kill and burn takes hold. And reason
The
is
desire to
forgotten.
kill and burn. I felt that desire to kill and burn emanating
Yes.
off of Baela when she
Yes.
was doing the swan dive for her life to...
It's the Targaryen. Look, if you're a family of dragon riders, you're gonna have that flame in you.
I
You're
don't
gonna
want Baela to die.
But wait a minute. Say that again. If you're a family of
Flames.
dragon riders,
Flames.
yeah, things are gonna burn, right? So
Flames.
if you're a queen who's a dragon rider, eventually, just saying,
What is that? What are you trying to allude to?
I'm just saying straight up, like,
He's saying that all they care about is burning shit.
Ray is
That's what he's trying to
like
say.
all this idea that Ray is this. It keeps like people keep saying it to her. Oh, you were raised to be queen. Oh, you're merciful. All this shit. And in next episode, we gonna see.
But she's not going to be merciful to her enemy. Especially when her enemy, she's telling her to her face, you're wrong.
End of
And
story.
the enemy's like, okay,
but
whatever.
As she said, you're gonna take thousands of people and they're gonna die. You are about to burn thousands of people and they're going to die. Like that is the thing. You are going to be just as complicit because again, when your kid got his eye, ran over there taking niggas' eyes out, and you didn't allow justice to be done of some sort.
She
there's
wasn't
gonna be back-
anti-justice. She was anti-eye for an
Alicent-
eye.
Well, hey, look, I don't know what what it should have been. I'm anti-eye for an eye myself, especially if it's my kid. But at the same time, you got to understand there's going to be repercussions, and that's what she fails to understand. Like you said, the repercussions of her own words, the repercussions of her actions, which to me is like I said, there's a lot of talk of her being good queen, but there's a lot of showing of her being.
I feel like I feel like you're preparing for things that we haven't seen yet, and I'm like, I'm just trying to let ride out. Like, let me see the actual actions that carry out before I start making grand proclamations. And I'm sticking on what we have currently, not trying to play down the road. And I know if you're trying to play the game, I'm not trying to play the game. I'm trying to watch the game and call what's happening in the game.
If you don't, what is it? History, doomed to repeat itself. Like these niggas love to burn shit up. Just because she's a woman don't make it any difference.
No, that's not my point. My point is that there's things you're like we don't know necessarily. You got to see things play out before you.
I don't know either. Again, you've read much more than I don't know anything. But what I am saying is, the end of this episode pretty much was like what I said at the end of last season. You know what I mean? When she's sitting there looking at the fire, we know what's coming next.
But you also make it seem like she's making these decisions in a vacuum.
No,
cause and effect.
Again, cause and effect. But the root cause here is not your throne being taken. You know what I mean? That's going to happen no matter what. People are going to come for your neck. You're the queen.
But it won't be my own fucking cousin.
Yes, it will.
Brother.
Yes, it will.
Brother, excuse me.
It would have been your husband if not. Because that nigga would have come for your throne. If you taking it quick, Daemon's trouble for that shit. Quick.
I feel like you're
within a year.
I feel like there's too much put on Daemon. Like, I just...
Let's talk about Daemon.
Would.
He's a wild card.
Let's talk about Daemon.
He doesn't have the things that other people have because of how he is. Like, he doesn't have like people who are willing to like help him rule or help him like maintain. He doesn't have that.
But he has a dragon. And that alone is, a nuclear bomb waiting to go off. And you're married to him. A pit bull with a nuke. You made some great choices.
What other choices are there to make
his movements. I will say Daemon's movements and his activity reaffirmed that he does need to be kept away from the throne.
From people.
Is it just me, or did he look like a protagonist from a video game? Like whenever he was like going around.
He absolutely looked like a Final Fantasy character, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That armor was sweet though.
It was on some Dark Souls shit. He looked cool though.
Mm-hmm.
His whole thing about me wanting to be addressed as Your Grace, I was rolling. I was like, okay, you taking it too far.
But the nigga said we gonna take the throne. But the nigga's like, nigga, you just said you're the king.
2 + 2 equal.
You the king already. How you gonna take the throne, nigga? Like,
I don't know. I love how he pulled up. I appreciate one thing about Daemon is, put people otherwise, he does execute, and you do need an executor on your team. And everyone literally for 3 episodes straight has been like, we got to go to Harrenhal. We got to get the Riverlands. We got to do this. Everyone's been saying that. His ass actually went and showed up first in the dead of the night in a storm, coming out, about to go Call of Duty on the whole castle. He pull up and the family's like, they lay down immediately. They're like, okay, we're here for Queen Rhaenyra. Again, rolling. Like there was no fighting. There was no pushback. There was like, well, you're here now. It's your castle now. That was funny.
It's a castle of crumbs. It's like, there's no structure. Larys set up everything. So like, there's nowhere. They were sitting in the only spot that was secure from water damage.
This
like,
nigga
they
still focused on feet.
It was not even
Harrenhal
a thing.
is ghetto.
Nigga can't build shit.
Ghetto white refrigerator.
I bet
Girl, put your shoes on. Let's find you a home. I was in shock when I walked up. When I walked up in there. When Daemon walked up in there. And the pipes was leaking, and you had the rats and the crumbles, and I said, what the fuck is this? And y'all was like, and he kept saying, oh, well, this is the biggest castle, and we need it as a guest. I said, this is a mess. How you gonna do anything in here?
I've got questions. One, but first, it probably has like 20 baths for feet up in there. Like nothing else but baths for feet. But I do have questions for Porshea. How the hell do they not know that this shit's a dump?
They know.
Porshea, you explained about that battle that burned it down in the first place.
Yeah. And then my man burned it again.
And then he burned it again last season when we saw his father and brother just... Yeah. That was him.
That was Larys.
And that
was Larys' fault.
And I love that everyone knows. Like, everyone is like, y'all didn't know that
Larys killed his own people.
You didn't know?
He said, what did the Lord say? I don't know. I forgot what the Lord's name is. No, the Lord of Harrenhal right now.
Caecilian?
The main guy. When he was just like, Harrenhal is wet as shit here. How did it go up in flames? Like, ain't no way.
Ain't no way. You can barely get the fire going in the winter. The summer, I think he said.
He was like, the last time that there was a fire is because a dragon, the greatest, the biggest dragon, Aegon's dragon, is the one who set it all off.
Why Daemon ain't send it? I mean, is he just still, because he's still on his own wave right now? Why didn't he send the Raven and tell him at Dragonstone, I'm here. I got Harrenhal. Why? He just don't give a fuck.
Said I'm the king.
So he's even like he's claiming it for himself. Like what is his plan? He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a plan.
I think
he doesn't have a plan.
Niggas, no, he ain't got no plan.
He's doing it live.
Yeah, but then fuck it, we're gonna do it live. But the nigga said I'm the king. Nigga can't send a Raven back like the king said he's here. Like,
Can you imagine
what?
they had they got some bottles together. The king is here. That's where Daemon walks
yeah.
through.
The king is here. The champ is here. Like, no, like,
Not
ain't no
only
way.
Harrenhal's ghetto, and it reminded me of like Luigi's Mansion because it's haunted too.
God damn.
What the fuck is going on in this place? And who was the girl? Portia, maybe you
Yes.
could tell me. Who was that girl who, when Daemon first pulled up to the family in
She ain't
dinner,
bow.
she ain't bowed nothing. She walked in like this nigga as soon as Daemon showed up. And then at the end, after he was having the visions, and shout out to Millie Alcock. Thank
Yes.
you. Finally got to see little Rhaenyra again, or young Rhaenyra again. Love seeing her. Unfortunately, sewing little Jaehaerys head back on, that's a fucked up vision. That said, all this stuff is happening. Harrenhal is cursed. You said that. Who is this girl? Because she ran up and she was like, everything you gonna do gonna fail to him. Who is this
You're
girl?
gonna die here. Get out.
Who
Get
is
out.
she?
You're
Whose
gonna die
daughter?
here.
Sister, who is this woman?
Is she?
Is she alive? Is this some
she
Sixth
real?
Sense stuff? Is she real?
She's wearing green, and he was standing by our werewood tree, which is known to give you green seers. Use that to connect with people, as we saw with Bran Stark in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
They use that to pass along green dreams. That's where he's ended up. So if you end up standing near a mystical tree after you had a vision, what do you think was pulling you around? And then you see a mysterious lady wearing green
This is on some Sixth
and
Sense
walking
shit.
away.
Yeah. And on some Sixth Sense shit, she don't talk to nobody.
Only he sees her.
Mm-hmm.
We
Only
only
he
see
reacts
him-
to her,
Yeah.
even when she walks into the room. So,
This is
possibility
scary.
is she ain't there. And that's what I was talking about last week, is that, because I've read about that was one thing I did read, is that Daemon will have a lot of trauma over having that boy's head cut off. And
he need to. He needs
does.
to.
He does. But once you, like you say, new information, still nigga.
I just think that it was like, he's definitely, like, it was so funny, like, not funny, but it was funny how
It
in
was.
last episode, how whenever he was talking to Rhaenyra about the, like, thing, he knew he did not have permission from Rhaenyra to go cut that boy, to do anything related to Aemon, even.
No.
Like, even to go after the real guy she wanted out, he never cleared, he knew that he didn't have clearance from her to go do it. And he was just like, So he was big and bold about doing it, but then you come back home and you don't want to claim it.
No, hold on. He did have clearance to go kill Aemon. He had pure clearance.
He had
She said,
clearance.
I want Aemon.
She said, I want Aemon. So
In the
that's
story,
technically clearance.
everyone
But
in
did
that
he do
room
it,
was
though?
like, you are cleared to go. You know, locked and loaded. Pretty much the whole kingdom is locked and loaded on Aemon at that point. Because like my man said, when the king speaks, the world hears it. Like, nah.
I just think it's funny. And I think
Yeah,
it's
I know,
funny
but you also
how
just-
easy it is to get to Aemon, because if you just go to the brothel, you can get him right there. I just think how funny it is if he had simply hired an actual assassin. Daemon. And so I'm just like, my thing with Daemon is
That's not how he moves. He don't be moving
we
like
know-
that.
and we know
that's not
that.
how he moves.
and
He
we
likes
know
wearing-
that. And I cannot fathom like taking Daemon seriously.
He wouldn't do that.
in
He wouldn't do that. He
anything.
likes wearing his crime robe and getting it popping. That's what Daemon does.
Yes, and that's why it's like, to me, I think y'all keep giving him way too much leniency to Ray, because she married this nigga knowing full of damn well what he was, and then runs around screaming and, I want Aemon, and runs off to her room. Like, you know, shit ain't gonna go terribly
Well,
after that.
that reminds me, shout out to the chat, the comments, who they did make mention, and that was a point that was missed. That Rhaenyra did in the last season did say to Daemon that she needed, and said of Daemon that she needed him.
Yep.
But we did say
She
that it was a power thing. Like she
That's what I
knew
said.
strategically. Yeah,
Yes,
what we
that's
said.
what I kept saying.
But
But
I
y'all were-
also said that I said she married him for the power, for the Targaryen power holding. That was the thing. It was not about like, oh, I specifically need only his guns, his swords, or whatever. She just wanted him for the legacy.
and a dragon. And his
Sure.
kids have a dragon.
Targaryen. When I say Targaryen, inherent is dragon.
Yeah, but see that. But you can say it's inherent, but people don't get that, and that's what I was trying to point out. Because and also they don't understand what it means to have 4 dragons instead of having 1. You know what I mean? It's a bit difference in your military might, and it also seals that off from coming at you. Hopefully, but unfortunately, what she don't realize is this pit bull gonna come at her no matter what you did.
Daemon is okay. This is the one thing I'll give Daemon.
Mm.
He's a hit dog will holler. So he even where I feel like Aegon is he don't even gotta get hit, he's gonna holler anyway.
Right.
I don't think Daemon's not that kind of person. So I don't know that he necessarily has it in him to just like he got into a fight with his niece wife and he's ready to set it off against her. Like wife. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I just want to know if he gonna make it out of Luigi's mansion alive. Like,
I mean, the Green Seer said, "Get out! You're gonna die here." So,
I think Daemon has it in him to always go for the throne, as it's immediately shown in this episode. I just
what throne is he going for? The throne of Harrenhal?
No,
he's talking words. The man is just talking.
He's going after the.
Y'all, okay, wait. Let me finish my sentence, please, because y'all are saying, I'm not saying this nigga's gonna make it, but I'm saying he's gonna be a horrible danger no matter what you do.
Who's y'all though? I agree with you.
Okay, well, Porshea keeps saying like,
I don't see him pulling together. He does not have the people to do what he says he wants to do. I don't think that you should. I think he will.
He's going to attempt to do stupid things, because that's what he do. He's always doing dumb things. Is he going to prevail? No, probably not. But I don't think he's ever going to potentially stop. And that's why I just said this. It was a very egotistical things that he was doing, and illogical things he was doing at Harrenhal with these people. Just how he was acting and call me your grace and all this other stuff. And then when he was like, "We got to take the throne," and he's being facetious and being weird, talking about. The Iron Throne, the throne with all the swords in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I'm doing this for you, Rhaenyra, but he's doing it for himself.
And this nigga's a maniac on a dragon. it's like, oh, he don't have the people. Oh, he don't have nothing. He has a dragon, and in 1 second, the whole city goes up. And, all big and small folk are gone. Like, what I'm going to say is, he could potentially, and is right now, a thorn in Rhaenyra's side that he's going to mess up plans. But like Porshea and I was also saying, he also don't have a plan. He don't have a full simple plan. He's the Joker. Like, I don't have a plan. But like the Joker said, I don't have a plan. But the Joker had mad plans. You know what I mean? He's a problem. Like,
he is a problem.
Yeah.
I just wonder, do y'all think that there was something in them peas? Because he seemed like he was concerned.
He didn't eat them.
But
he said, I think y'all trying to poison me, and he pushed the food away. He said
he didn't end up eating afterwards, though, because he was sitting mighty nice in that little room. And then that's whenever he started having the visions.
No, I think these niggas they are who they say are. These niggas have one guard.
I don't think they have it. Yeah, I don't think I don't think that happened. I think he's like, because this place is cursed, like you explained to us, Porshea, last time, and they having the visions. And now Celie and them is telling them he gonna fail.
And Daemon is stressed. Like,
and
he's that part.
He's getting guilt. Listen.
And he has nothing going for him other than his dragon. Like, that's the part. The nigga's stressed. He's running around calling himself king, and broke niggas is looking at him crazy.
And he's purposely made himself an island. Yeah. Because he was just like, I'm not going to do what you say, Rhaenyra. I'm going to do my own thing. He was never listening to the rest of the council anyway. So now he's on his own. Like, niggas don't even know that he made it to Harrenhal. Have y'all heard from Daemon? Nope. Y'all know where Daemon at? Everybody looking at each other. Beats me. Like,
what you're saying makes me think about like how that's another theme I kind of saw this episode was like people are cosplaying real heavy, and Aegon is cosplaying super heavy. Like he looked like Kylo Ren with the Vader helmet basically. Whenever he put on, he's like, "This is what Aegon the Conqueror looked like in his," and he's like, and it just was like, so your name's Aegon.
All of them,
right? Like what?
Aegon's a child.
And Daemon is a grown child cosplaying I'm the king child. Here, and we go from one child Targaryen to another almost adult child Targaryen, and it's a mess. They're cosplaying real heavy.
And every time I think we're talking about Aegon, every time I think he's gonna understand and realize, he fall back down every time. When he was in that room, and again, I have to laugh. When the King's Guard, I call him the frat guard, when the frat guard was dressing him up in the suit of armor, and I'm like, they are dressing you up to go to die. They know your ass ain't got no skills, no expertise, no experience, and they're like, yeah, nigga, this look great on you. Go out there and go show them something. Like, they know. Like, they are feeding into your buffoonery and hyping you up. They are hyping you up, like trying to make you think you got it like that. And he is falling into that. And then, as you said, like, they talking to him real familiar too. They do not respect him. And it's like for a second, he seems to understand that, oh, these niggas don't really respect me like that. And then he goes off and gets drunk with them.
But it's also like at the same time this is all happening, he's also having a moment of realization of how much he's cosplaying, but everyone around him is cosplaying too. Because the new Kingsguard, whenever he's like, oh, they're like, oh yeah, like we're supposed to, like we're gonna go hang out and, you know, do our thing in the brothels. He's like, y'all are Kingsguard now. Y'all are supposed to take the vow. And it was like, boy, what? Like, you're playing. Like, we're cosplaying Kingsguard. We're not actual Kingsguard. And it was like, he had a moment to look in. He was a man in the mirror. He was looking at himself in the mirror at all the cosplay happening around him. And he still couldn't reconcile in his head, like, maybe I should change. He was like, nope, I'm going to go out.
Go ahead.
I agree with everything y'all both said. The only thing I not really disagree is I think the frat boys are just that dumb. I don't even think they realize that this nigga would get murdered. I don't think they've seen it.
They
were
really
trash.
relieved though.
Yeah.
Like whenever
I just say that you surrounding yourself with idiots who are just going to hype you up into doing stupid shit and not realize, like, you're a whole king. You're a whole ass king, and you pulling up to fucking McDonald's with everybody else talking about Happy Meals for everyone. Like, are you dead ass? Like, you have no what did Otto say? Feckless.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole,
are
like,
you dumb?
You know, going to the bar and then the brothel. I'm like, this nigga's wilding. Like, like you said, Portia, like, at least if an assassin rolls up on Aemon, that nigga, I don't care, dick out, whatever, that nigga's handling most niggas.
You saw how he stood up with his dick out.
Yeah, that nigga don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, Aegon, though, you roll up on him, I don't care. That nigga in the full suit of armor and anything, you served. You know,
you getting served immediately. It's just, And you're right, Portia. I like that whole man in the mirror analogy. Just everyone is pretending around me. I'm a pretender. They're a pretender. No one is who they say they are. And even like the frat guard didn't even have they had the audacity to just be chilling. Even when Crisco came down the steps, they was just chilling on the steps. They was like, oh, you need us to stand up?
Like that was the other point. The good niggas you sent to die. You know what I mean? We've lost the good niggas. Now we got garbage niggas left. Like,
because now we got the Z League up here doing nothing, protecting no one.
Yeah. And you can't blame them, because look at the example that he sets. Like, it's like I almost expected for the frat guard to say something about, like, well, you know, Christian is effing with your mother, right? Like,
no, they ain't gonna do that.
But they wasn't there yet.
The Lord Commander, the Lord Commander is not keeping the oath, so why would we keep the oath? Like, we're not.
Yeah, no, they ain't gonna say that shit. That'll get your head chopped off. Your mom's getting porked by that nigga? No. Even if he knows it, no. Frat guard or not, that's, whack.
I just need them to be a little drunker. I think it would happen.
And it'll happen, and then that nigga's head will be on the pipe in that scene. Like, one less frat guard. Like, damn it.
Well, that brings me to the leader.
FBI guys.
The leader of the frat guard, Crisco. Let's talk about his bitch ass bowl cut and how I hate him.
Damn, this nigga can't do no right by
I hate him even more. I just hate everything about him. I hated the way he walked, the way he talked. I hate the way that he dressed.
Yeah.
I hate him. Yeah. I don't like him.
You say queen, I guess.
That's a good one. Once again, failing upwards. He has no plan. He don't know what the hell he's doing at his hand. You see him sitting there in the beginning when he's just in outer space, like, oh, I gotta go to my meeting with them. Hey, y'all, what's up? You don't know what the hell you doing. You don't know what's going on. He don't know up from down, and he is cosplaying.
The actress who plays Alicent said that they cut one of her big sex scenes, and I think that was the one between her and Kristen, because his face shows up way more fucked up than them little slaps should have done to him. that shit got raw and heavy in there. That man showed up like,
and he's still
and that's why that's why the man was in a daze at the beginning of the episode. You know,
maybe. No, I thought he was in daze because he was just like, I really don't know what the fuck going on.
I mean,
and
that now too, but he's also
like you lied on your resume.
Night.
You lied on your resume about knowing how to program to write programs, and now they give you a whole thing like, hey man, I need you to write this up, and you looking at them like, nigga, I could barely read. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you lied. You lied on your resume, got the job anyway, and now you actually have to perform.
Yeah.
Oh man. The funny thing is, you know me, I'm not as much of a hater of Kristen Cole as everybody else. I feel like he is the nigga you love to hate, and I just love that he is, you know, like,
he's not smart enough to love to hate.
I disagree though. He has come up again and again. He's made the most of what he's got, and in this episode, because it was funny, because I really started off loving Dwayne's world. And then I was like, this bitch ass nigga by the end of the episode.
Gwen is a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, he is.
But Cole's a bigger bitch ass nigga.
No,
you know why?
At least
because
he saved him.
Cole's a meathead. And yes, he saved him because it was about something. He's a meathead that all he knows is battle. Okay, that's one good thing about Cole. The nigga know how to about fighting, and he knows about tactics and stuff. Yeah. Okay, he at least know how to swing a sword. Okay, he has battle awareness. 1 point for Cole. Negative 103 for everything else you do.
I love him. Still love Cole. Keep going, brother.
I think my love to hate is Larys, because I'm like, that's just fun to pick at someone who is as he is.
Because the nigga's smart.
He's smart. He be in them shadows, and it's funny.
I don't care about the feet, man. You and this feet
stuff.
No.
I'm not. It's just funny to make fun of him about the feet. But I was going to say about Crisco, the dichotomy between him being in like the basin, looking at his reflection and being wavery, and the richer man, the king Aegon, having a whole mirror to see his cosplay play out. And then later on, and when Gwen confronts him, he's like, yeah, like you started, like you've risen pretty high for someone who started so small, like trying to get like some recoup for like his father, who's the second son of rich house. So they rich. Okay, we know you're rich, bro. But it's interesting that that's the tie-in, the thread of like how Chris like that he's always fighting against. Oh, I started from the bottom, now I'm here. He's Drake.
Yeah.
And
yes.
He, but he's actually a little bit. He's actually better. He's better, actually worse off from the beginning.
Way worse off than Drake.
Sir Gawain may be a bitch ass nigga, but he's an observant bitch ass nigga, and he knew that Cole was cosplaying from Jump Street. You saw him, he looked them up and down. I'm like, well, how the hell did you get here?
I don't know if that's cosplaying in that instance. I think that Sir Gawain is cosplaying as a knight.
Sure, you know but I mean? Cole is cosplaying as a competent person that knows what he's doing.
The hand.
That's
what I'm talking about when I say cosplaying. He doesn't. I'm not talking about the fighting. I'm talking about you're cosplaying as if you're an elder statesman that has information and understands how shit works. You're an idiot.
None of that.
You're a meathead.
Man can't even get through a night with Alicent without getting confused.
And also just about him and Alicent, this is more about what I was saying, where I felt like the Ike Turner is coming out in him, because the way he was even talking to her a little bit, he was just like first of all, he keeps trying to make fetch happen with their fake relationship. And it's clear like she was just using him for the dick. Let's move on, but he don't want to move on. He's like, oh no, you're gonna be mine, talking about asking for the favor and all this other stuff. And you could see in her face, it's like, I don't really like you, nigga. I'm just using you, right? Like, I just see this going badly.
I thought her face was more like, he's a jumped upstart, and he really he's really coming at me for my favor, like playing chivalry in front of these men in order to like showcase like his power.
That's what I'm saying. And he did the same thing with her. Like before, he was always when he's the, I don't even know how to explain what he was to her before he became hand and all this other stuff. He's just following behind her, being her bodyguard, all this other stuff, and whatever Alicent says goes. Now he gets a little bit of power, and it's just like he's saying stupid shit during the council, and Alicent's looking at him like, no, nigga, that's not how that works. And he's just talking over her, right? He's just saying okay, and he's aiding and abetting the stupid shit that Aegon wants to do. Every time.
This and he even had excuses for the twins. He was just like, yeah, that happens in war.
And then not taking any type of responsibility. This is your fault. No one cares.
He did
But it
try
made
to
him
make
hand.
it was a pretty smooth move, like it almost worked out.
It was smooth move, but yet both Otto Hightower and Aaron was like, alone?
Yeah.
You want me to go there alone?
Yeah. No, Otto was definitely like,
with
that was
no
a dumbass
plan,
move. Yeah.
just pretend like you're your brother and you could get in.
At this point, he like, I don't think it was the best plan, no, but it almost worked. Like, I give him a little credit.
Hey Ben, let's talk about your girl Alicent. Yeah. Yeah, talk about that. What's that coming from?
I mean, shorty
yeah,
wrong.
let's
like, I've
what
never
you gotta say
not,
about her now?
I've never not said that though. Like I've said that. My only thing is like I just say that no matter what, Rhaenyra would have to face mad challenges to her throne, and I do not believe that she is ready for them. I think that Alicent, is wrong in challenging for the throne. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say on that. There's no way but there. She wrong, but at the same time, she a redhead, so
Y'all know the meme of the older lady that she has the bonnet on her head and she's have her hand crossed and she's nodding and going like this. When Rhaenyra was explaining to Alicent what the fuck her father meant when he said Aegon and how that was specifically Aegon the Conqueror and specifically the Song of Fire and Ice, and the look on Alicent's face, when she said, "Oh shit," like you were so goddamn sure, and Rhaenyra is begging basically for her to listen to her. My entire life, my father told me, Apple Care told me, I was the one. To his dying brother, I was just with him 2 hours before homie passed, that he was reaffirming me as queen. Alicent grew up with Rhaenyra. Why would Rhaenyra make this up? I hear Alicent talking about, well, why would you think I'm that deceitful and do something like that? Heard. But why would you be so intent on your wrongness that you wouldn't want to even think to hear out Rhaenyra? Rhaenyra wouldn't just make this up, talking about, oh, well, he just changed his mind. No, the fuck he didn't.
No.
You were wrong.
Yeah.
And the realization of I was wrong, because my thing is, there's so much that has gone down since Viserys died. And I get it. Alicent has that look like, damn, this is the point of no return. But it's just like, I feel like you can still potentially save it. And this is the last thing this is Rhaenyra's trying to do. She's like, look, we can still potentially turn this around. And Alicent just thinks like it's a path too far. She's just like, there's no way.
And I think Alicent is at least more aware of the forces around her than Rhaenyra is, because Alicent knows, like she said, nigga, you know what Aemon is. Nigga, it's too late. Like, you already know. Unlike that pit bull over there, I know what I got over here. You know what I mean? You over there fucking around. And that's the other thing, like, she's like, oh, you can pull your forces back, but you got this man rolling around with the dragon saying he king. It's a little late.
She don't got this. Stop saying that. She don't got this man's doing that. Daemon is doing what Daemon wants to do.
And again, she's not in control of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
She never thought she'd have control of him, though. Like, it's not like she was misguided and thought, oh, I'm going to have control of him.
Well, then kill him. Then because...
That's what I said.
That's what I said. Because otherwise you have a raging pit bull with a dragon. Like, you have to play this game right if you're queen. Because otherwise you're going to lose Biggie small folk. You know what I mean? You can kill one man right now, or you can lose half your kingdom when this man goes crazy. Because that's what's going to happen. And you should have known that.
We should
and that's why, and like, at least Alicent seems to be a little bit more aware of, what's going to happen here. Slightly. But she's also, Alicent is, look, Team Oblivion, folks.
Aegon, the Conqueror, not your bitch ass son. I was screaming at the screen when she was explaining it. And she was like, what did my father say? And she said, wait a minute. He said it in those words, the prince that was promised. That's not what that means. Oh my God. I was so,
And see, not to predict things that are going to happen, but one thing, like at the beginning, that's why I love the beginning of this episode versus the ending. I thought that was such a dope flip. Yeah. Because at the beginning, you see, what happens when little boys get into a fight, how much damage that causes, right? When the family feuds, like they said, when two family feuds, you know what I mean? And then you're going to see at the end of this episode what's going to happen when these two family feuds, when real family feuds. And I think the audience is going to, like you said, forgive her for every war crime ever. And to me, it's going to be hilarious because her war crimes are going to be rather extreme.
Well, it's definitely going to be forgiven now because, and granted, you can sit here and rightfully say that
Like the episode
logically,
says.
what is Alicent supposed to do? But the fact is, after Rhaenyra said all this, and now Alicent knows the truth, and Alicent's still not about that. She's still like, well, it's too late. Go home, right? Of course, people are going to continue to be like, I hate Alicent Hightower.
Yeah.
What else you going to do?
It. No, and I get it. But once again, what else could Rhaenyra do? Except that she's queen. You know?
Except, why would she?
Because otherwise, millions of people die. You know what I mean? Like, you have to remember, you are, like, that's the thing. You are going to play just the biggest part in this war. You can accept that she's queen. You don't have to do this.
Well, she's not queen. It's about.
Well, he's king, whatever. You know, you can accept that Aegon being. Yeah. You can accept that Aegon is king. Yeah, you can accept that he's king. I know that's a hard pill to swallow. You were told your whole life. But you ain't built for it either, so, you know, I don't care what they told you.
Nope.
Rhaenyra's not built to lay down. She's not going to just get down. She's not going to lay down.
No.
Wow.
She built to burn things. Cook. And that's what we're going to see.
They're monarchs. They are monarchs and burn things at the same time. You were acting like it's like either or.
To be true.
It happens. That's what they do. That's what Aegon the Conqueror, he conquered with fire. His sister wives did it too. That's what Targaryen. When I say Targaryens, I mean fire and blood. That's what that's the name of the book.
Like I
where
say,
they
like,
outline all this. That's what they do.
I'm gonna start using that. Like when I send you this image, you know, shit gonna burn.
You know what I mean? If
like when I'm looking at these candles, you know.
Two thoughts.
But
we keep talking about small folk and them needing to be thoughtful about the people.
Yes.
We need to. We keep coming across this. The rich people don't give two craps about the small folk until it impacts them. Until there's a famine and they are going hungry. Until they have like disease and it hits them. They do not care about the small folk.
Not at all.
The thought about like, oh, it's going to cost thousands of people. That's the Stark's problem. They send thousands of people down here and then thousands of people die. That's the Stark problem. It ain't my problem until the Stark make it my problem. So that's not automatically, that's not factoring in to like, their equation. The equation is I was supposed to have this. Y'all are telling me I can't have it. I'm supposed to have this. You're working people over here. Now we're gonna keep battling. Like
I understand Rhaenyra because that was me. I wouldn't have been able to lay down either.
No,
you're not gonna disrespect me. You're not gonna gaslight me. I don't. And to your point, and yes, it's woe for everybody else because I'm not thinking about the small folk. Well, we just going to burn some shit down because this is not how it's supposed to be.
I thought I was the one who shouldn't have the Infinity Gauntlet. Neither of y'all.
Oh, I know.
I never sought out power because I'm like, girl,
I told you before
problem.
if I had a superpower, how I would get down.
That's a problem.
Y'all would have to lock me up because I'm going in.
Like I'm over here like, yo, if I was there, I'd be like, let me find another way and poison that nigga. You know, I don't know.
I ain't
poison
finding
all
no way.
these niggas till I get the throne. You know, I'm gonna figure out something, but I ain't gonna.
Dracarys.
You get lit, and you get lit.
Dracarys.
No,
and you get lit up.
No,
give me a dragon, please. Give me a dragon.
I'm figuring out another way. I'm poisoning niggas because I'm
usually down with poisoning, but I feel like that,
if you have a dragon, I'm supposed to like
give me a dragon. I'm gonna use a dragon.
No.
Listen, we got to keep going. We got to keep going.
Yeah. Wait, my second note before we move on.
Okay.
Because this is very important.
Okay.
Rhaenyra kept her father's secret in that moment because she only told enough. She did not pass on the actual legacy of the Song of Ice and Fire to Alicent. She did not give any information that Alicent could use to pass down to any of her lineage about the Targaryens. Rhaenyra is still the only person who knows the actual inheritance of the actual Targaryen inheritance, which is the Song of Ice and Fire story.
Because she's the one true queen. Period.
Exactly. But here's the thing. And but this is how it played out because she only said that was about Aegon the Conqueror because that's the Aegon that she knows that is acceptable that Alicent will just like ride with, right? But it is a story that was told in his time. Like, it was a prophecy that came up during his time. But the true Aegon is Jon Snow. That's what the prophecy was actually predicting.
And yet he did not kill, he didn't stop the White Walkers. The prophecy, I mean, that's
in the show.
I
we don't know the intention of the actual prophecy playing out.
And we also know that they never finished in these books. So.
They messed that whole thing up.
I know. But I'm saying the prophecy that they messed up in the TV show, we don't know how they were Yeah. So, I just really appreciated that in that moment, Rhaenyra was like starting to cry and like, oh man, did my father, like, she's losing faith in her father for a second. She was like, wait, now hold up. Not only did she like rebuke Alicent in that moment, but she also kept it like together. She kept her composure about her father's secret that he passed on to her. So she was like,
keeping it together ain't gonna last.
And I do like, and this is just a separate side thing. I do like how smooth they did the espionage through the city. That shit was fire. That, like, she came through with the nun, and Ben, you had a really weird note here. I was laughing, but she came through in the nun disguise.
Man, I've never found her that attractive. I can't lie, but man, and that nun disguise, I was like, yo, she is.
No, but that was cool. That was smooth with her, her one guard with her, and then she just pushed through and then blended in with the others. I was like, this is very solid snake of you. I fucked with it. Baela Targaryen, we talked about her already. Just again, I just need my good sis to be careful. I don't want nothing to happen to her, but who knows?
She's Daemon's daughter.
Rhaena, we see Rhaena after a long time. And I felt bad also. It was just like, listen, you are being tasked with probably one of the more important things, which is keeping the line going, right? And keeping the bloodline alive, literally, and also protecting, backup dragons, if you will, right? So Rhaenyra asked her, go to Pentos and keep Joffrey and the rest of them, and 4 eggs, looks like she sent her with. She sent her with 2 baby dragons, I call them Tyrese. Hatchlings, Taraxis and Stormcloud, and then 4 eggs. Yep. My question to you, Porshea, since you know everything, the Maester, are those gonna end up being the eggs, at least the 3, the eggs that end up with Daenerys a century later? Is that the same eggs?
Some of them. Okay, so let me talk about the fact that there is a lot of eggs that we're gonna. While we do not see more dragons emerge.
Yeah.
Because of what happens with the Dance of Dragons, they start slowly dying off and get smaller and smaller. There are dragon eggs keep getting laid on Dragonstone, at King's Landing, wherever the dragons are. Dragon eggs are even on the mountains and stuff. People be finding like dragon eggs every once in a while. So I can't say that for certain.
Okay,
because
I was just like,
a lot of eggs come down.
Because I'm afraid something's going to happen to Rhaena. I mean, there's a lot. You got to be from transit from Dragonstone to Pentos is number 1, right?
They're
number
going to
2,
the Vale.
Well, they're going to the Vale. Excuse me.
Definitely happening.
I feel like that in transit something potentially could happen, and then again, because everything's popping off now with this war, I'm just like, and then you also have Crisco and them on the move now, so I'm concerned. So, okay, fine. Aemon Targaryen embarrassed by the frat guard. Did you feel bad for him at all? Did any of you feel bad for him at all when he was just laying there, like when Aegon was basically going in on him and clowning him for being with the same whore, and he was just laying there like,
oh, Aemon. I thought you were talking about Aegon for a second.
Aemon, yeah.
I honestly, I just was like shaking my head because I was like, this is the same boy who said that he, like last episode, that he was being treated different, and that's why he was like, that set him off. So how do you think he's gonna feel when the same brother is teasing him, like the brother he's supposed to be closest to, is coming at him? Right? I mean, so,
and he's old enough now, and he got hands now. So he
got the biggest dragon. So he's not gonna just take things sitting down. He knows, and you saw him kind of pick at. For the little pick he did at Aegon, that's how Aegon reacted to him later. But whenever they were in a council, and he was like, guess you ain't gonna be flying your dragon, huh?
Right, Aemon, yeah.
You had to stay at home and be safe because you're the king, That's how Aegon reacts to him later for that little dig at him, right? So,
gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I definitely felt bad.
You felt bad for
Aemon.
I was like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
Helaena Targaryen, the I forgive you, Alicent. Holy shit! Was that another premonition? Or was she just like, was it a double entendre? And I ask this because Alicent was rambling to Helaena about, I missed the child. I feel bad for the child dying, but I'm more so worried about you. And as Alicent is going on and on, Helaena just turns around and is like, I forgive you. And it kind of slightly feels out of nowhere. It kind of feel like first it's just like you can say Helena's saying that because she's basically telling Alicent, don't worry about all of it. Because Alicent's still also worried that Helaena saw her fucking Crisco. But I'm also just like, but is this also Helaena, her premonitions or whatever, her stuff? Like she's talking about something that hasn't happened yet. What does she forgive her for?
Probably, but also pause for, poor Jaehaerys really didn't have a chance. Like his grandma, his mama, because even like Helaena in a moment, she's like processing, she's saying that like, I just feel like I have to think about it in the same way that like small folk lose their children all the time, way more than like us wealthy people do. So I just have to like let that go. And I see that she's processing it, but she doesn't have the level of bonding that like it's because spent more time with the child and all of that. Like her mom is like, I was worried about you. I was like, I love the kid, but like I cared more about you. So I just little moment for like the baby really didn't have a chance. Like his family was not like, they're like, I guess like babies die every day, B. Like it was a kind of moment for him. So peace on that child, but also I think you're right to think about the layers of that because Helena's story is very layered when it comes to how she talks.
Yeah. And it wasn't like she was responding to something specific, Alicent said. She just jumped up with, I forgive you. So I was just trying to understand what was she even talking about? Like, what does that mean? Is something coming to pass that she's telling her now, I forgive you?
I mean, I remember Alicent's moves led to her son getting her head chopped off.
That too.
Not even just the Kristen Cole thing, just her general movements led to this. Just like Ray's general movements led to all this too. Both of them are complicit in what's happening. So,
and where was her Kingsguard? Where were they?
I mean, them niggas is dead. Ain't many left. And them sucker niggas wasn't doing nothing. So and that's what that's what the twin called them on too. The twin was like, why hasn't she got her own guard? Because if she'd had her own guard, the guard would know that you're fucking her.
Well,
Did you want to cover Ulf the White?
I want to talk about the drunk nigga.
Yeah. I call him the new nigga that claimed he the bastard son. Who is these niggas? Like who is this person? What is he? Is he telling the truth? Number one, because he just looked like he was just running his mouth, but it could be true to that because kings make bastard sons all the time.
For me, I mean, like I said his name, and it'll be in the credits too. You can look.
What's his name?
Ulf the White. ULF.
Olaf.
Olaf
from
ULF.
Frozen. Okay, that's how I'm gonna remember him. Olaf. Go ahead.
Okay. You're gonna build a snowman just with him. He's you're right. Like, and like looking out for like who's the next candidate to be a dragon rider. If you have Targaryen blood, you have a possible chance, right? That's what they say, at least. So that's the thing you can look out for him. But also, I think he's a precursor. So remember how I keep hinting towards or noting that like there's two big Targaryen.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt you. I just realized that's the same nigga. That's the Punisher nigga.
Yeah.
That's the nigga who rolled up and asked what happened to the rat catchers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. I told you. I knew when they centered on him that this nigga was going to come back around.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Aha.
So he is a problem. Yeah, he going to be a problem.
Okay.
Go
ahead, Portia. Sorry.
Yeah. Now go ahead. Be a problem.
So note that he's currently in King's Landing.
Mm-hmm.
What that says about his proximity to like which dragons you think he might,
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then also don't take that too hard because that's a heart that might mean it may mean one thing, it may mean another.
Okay.
And then the other thing is that like a precursor, like him being a bastard and him describing the way that he might possibly be a bastard is a precursor to the next big Targaryen war issue or whatever, which is also a thing about inheritance of the throne. And that becomes because there's too many bastards.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes the next big Targaryen
Too many bastards, not enough time.
And that's why I keep talking about keeping it in the pants.
But but the reality is he didn't keep it in the pants. So the reality is, if he'd given it to Rhaenyra, she'd still have all these people coming for her. And how you react, you cannot. It's the great thing in life. The hand you're dealt, it's how you play the cards. You're gonna get this hand no matter what. She gonna get problems no matter what. People don't want peace. I want problems. You know what I mean?
I'm just like, I think she's one of those people who I think she was taught to play the game from a certain angle.
Yeah.
And she's been pushed out of that angle.
Yeah.
And because she's not in that angle, she's playing sideways right now. She has not figured out how to get set herself straight. And I'm hoping we'll see. I mean, I know we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that at least she'll be a good challenge. Because I like a game that is like a good challenge to each side. I don't like a one-sided or like a two oh man on one side, like a pity vote kind of game. I want a good clean fight.
No, it's gonna be a fight, but like I keep saying, it's just gonna be the death of mad people. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and dragons, which I care about more than the people too. But I actually really do, especially on this show, because I hate both of these sides. I really care more about the people. And I think all of them are dumb, other than I'm still team Rhaenys and team Otto, who I didn't even get to see this week.
I'm big team Rhaenys. As far as the thoughts about what's happening in the next episode and who's going to come into play, I'm concerned about Corlys. I feel like a death is coming from him, and also especially when he's having this conversation with Rhaenys, and Rhaenys is like, "You need to name an heir, right? You need to get this." She basically saying you need to write your will, because it's about to be on. And he don't want to name Rhaena. He don't want to name Joffrey because he say they soft. So I'm like, well, who the hell else gonna be, man? What do you like? And she was like, what if something happens to you? And the minute the character says that, what's about to happen next. So I'm just like, God damn it. Why are you not being smart about this, Corlys? This is going to be another problem. Another Game of Thrones within your own house before Driftmark.
He is the king of the seas. He's invincible.
No.
Even after he came back from his rehab on his leg, he's invincible,
Just like Tupac. See, that's the same thing we thought about Tupac. He got shot the first time, and he came back. Everybody's like, oh, and then the second time, they were like, oh, he gonna make it. No. Nope.
That's how he feel. Mysaria, how is she gonna come to play? Because of her, that's why I almost call her Daenerys. I love the blending of all these characters. But because of Mysaria, Rhaenyra was able to get into King's Landing. She had the right of way, and she asked to be on Rhaenyra court officially. I wonder if we're gonna actually see that happen by the next episode. And then Ben, you said the whole How to Train Your Dragon lineup when she says Sea Smoke might be lonely. Could she be a potential writer?
Yep.
We don't know. I don't know.
I like that she's in the shadows. I like that
shadows.
that Rhaenyra is listening to her playing from the shadows, and I like that.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting that of all the people for Rhaenyra to start playing a powered position discussion with, how far that she can trust them, figuring out their role in her game. She does that first with Mysaria, it seems like, because she's taking counsel from Rhaenys, but she's not including Rhaenys in her strategy. Whereas with Mysaria, that's who she's strategizing with first, not with Daemon and not with any of her council members. It's Mysaria first. So I think about the order of that, and if she's leading from the shadows, what's her strategy going to be overall?
Right. Another question: is Crisco and them going to make it to Harrenhal? What's going to happen when Daemon's still there? If Daemon's still there in Luigi's mansion, what then?
And we're also supposed to be hearing from the Starks coming down.
The Starks was so are we gonna see Mans again? The guy that we all like?
Well, they said that he said that he was sending his old men. He was sending was it old
the old folk? Yeah,
the
they gonna send the OGs down.
Yeah,
the graybeards.
Yeah, the great. Yeah, he's not a graybeard.
No, I still want to see him. I would like to see him. No, we're not. But you know what? They also, I know that they said that, but they also last year lied when they were talking about season 2. They were like, oh, Millie, they said, oh, you ain't going to see Millie no more. Millie Alcock, who played young Rhaenyra. They're like, you ain't going to see her this episode, this season. Well, I just seen her, so niggas is lying. So I'm just hoping that changes. Who knows? Yep. Ben, did you have any other predictions or thoughts about the next episode?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. I think that's everything then. Thank y'all so much for listening. Appreciate y'all. I hope you had a good time listening to us on Castle Black about season 2, episode 3 of House of Dragons. If you like what you heard, and I know you did because you're still listening to me, make sure that you are subscribed to us on every podcast platform imaginable, as well as make sure you're following us on all the socials. You can find us at ForAllNerds. Again, we're the ones that power Castle Black. You can also follow us individually to get more information and insight. You can follow Porshea at Porshea Knows all over the interwebs. I'm Tatiana King. He's DJ Benhameen. Please also make sure you do a few things. Make sure you go to our YouTube. Thank you to the 5,000 plus people who already subscribed. Please add some more there. YouTube.com/ForAllNerds TV. Please continue to support us there by watching, sharing, liking, and telling a friend to tell a friend. You can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/ForAllNerds to help us on the financial side of things because we are an independently funded, independently black-owned media brand. And we do everything ourselves. So we appreciate you if you want to be part of that cause, part of the fan fam. You can also go to ForAllNerds.com to get some cool merch. Benhameen is wearing one of the coolest that we have. It's our Magneto Was Right shirt. You can get yours today. Make sure you put in that order again at ForAllNerds.com. We're going to be having some more designs coming up shortly. What else did I miss? DJ Benhameen has written, along with Mellow Brown, has written an incredible graphic novel. Benhameen, please tell the people about that.
That is Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze, which will be on sale August 13th, very soon, less than 2 months away. It'll be on sale. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. It is an intergalactic space opera adventure featuring the one and only Jimi Hendrix himself, fully authorized by the Jimi Hendrix estate. It's written by me and my brother Mellow Brown. It is illustrated by the absolute living legend Tom Mandrake himself. And it's pure fire. It is a 144-page graphic novel. You can order it. It's one joint. You know, you get the whole story, this whole outer space adventure involving music and revolution and fighting against fascism. It's also a story about art. And when you get stuck in your art and, you know, you're forced to commercialize it, or you're just stuck in a way and you're just trying to find a new way through life. So it's a journey and an adventure for pretty much everyone. Please order it now. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. If you go to bitdjenergy.com, you might still be able to get a copy, a signed copy.
These things are gone.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that at this point. There's a link there for Hendrix, bitdjenergy.com. You can head over there. If those are all sold out, go to your local comic book store and tell them you want Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze, or hit up Amazon as a last resort. You know, local bookstore is also good. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze from Titan Publishing, available August 13th. I absolutely can't wait. Just did another interview about that today. Shout out to
Fantastic
Starburst Magazine out in the UK. Thank you for that interview.
Very nice.
That was very beautiful. And
very nice.
Yeah, much more to come.
And
I'll
if
be
you're
at San Diego Comic-Con in July.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Talk to me nice at the Titan booth.
If you be out there, please see him. And if you're into witches and wizardry, please, Porshea, tell people about your podcast, your other podcast.
Right. Thanks for asking. It is called #WizardTeam. It is a podcast where we talk about Black fantasy stories. We are currently on book 2 of the Legendborn series called Bloodmarked. So if you're in for Black women taking on a secret order of racist white folks in a college in the South, using their own magic and also some root magic, then come on by and join us for that discussion. That is every Wednesday, I believe, is when we drop.
Excellent. It's Liddy. Y'all, thank y'all so much again. Thank you for getting us over 5,000. We want to do like Vegeta and get us over 9,000. So please, let's keep pushing. Please, keep adding, keep pushing. We love doing what we do. We love listening to you guys. And we're going to be back next week with more House of Dragon. Peace. What's up, internets and the fan fam? This is Tatiana King for ForAllNerds, and I want to thank you so much for listening and watching to ForAllNerds. Make sure you like and subscribe to us only on YouTube.